ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞಾ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಅಥವಾ ಇಸ್ಕಾನ್ ಕಳೆದ 50 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞೆಯನ್ನು ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಾದ್ಯಂತ ಹರಡುವಲ್ಲಿ ನಿರತವಾಗಿದೆ. ಚೈತನ್ಯ ಮಹಾಪ್ರಭುಗಳ ಅತ್ಯಮೂಲ್ಯ ಕೊಡುಗೆಯಾದ ಯುಗಧರ್ಮ, ಕಲಿಯುಗದ ಮಹಾಮಂತ್ರ ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ 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 ಹರೇ ಹರೇ, ಹರೇ ರಾಮ 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 ಹರೇ ಹರೇ ಮಂತ್ರವನ್ನು ವಿಶ್ವದೆಲ್ಲೆಡೆ ಪ್ರಚಾರ ಮಾಡುವುದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಸ್ಕಾನ್ ಸತತವಾಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಿಸುತ್ತಿದೆ. ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞೆಯನ್ನು ವಿಶ್ವದೆಲ್ಲೆಡೆ ಪಸರಿಸಲೆಂದೇ ಶ್ರೀಲ ಪ್ರಭುಪಾದರು 1966ರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಮೆರಿಕದ ನ್ಯೂಯಾರ್ಕ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಸ್ಕಾನ್ ಸ್ಥಾಪಿಸಿದರು. ಕೇವಲ 12 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಅವಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದೆಲ್ಲೆಡೆ 108 ಕೃಷ್ಣ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನಗಳನ್ನು ಸ್ಥಾಪಿಸುವ ಮೂಲಕ ತಮ್ಮ ಮಹಿಮೆಯನ್ನು ಮೆರೆದರು. ಶ್ರೀಲ ಪ್ರಭುಪಾದರು ಸ್ಥಾಪಿಸಿದ ಇಸ್ಕಾನ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯು ಬೆಳೆದು ಹೆಮ್ಮರವಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತ ವಿಶ್ವದೆಲ್ಲೆಡೆ 500ಕ್ಕೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ದೇವಾಲಯಗಳು ಹಾಗೂ ಕೋಟ್ಯಾಂತರ ಮಂದಿ ಭಕ್ತಾದಿಗಳನ್ನು ಒಳಗೊಂಡಿದೆ. ಕೃಷ್ಣ ನಾಮದ ಮಹತ್ವ ಹಾಗೂ ಪ್ರಚಾರ ಎಲ್ಲೆಡೆ ತೀವ್ರಗತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಾಪಿಸುತ್ತಿದೆ. ಶ್ರೀಲ ಪ್ರಭುಪಾದ ಹಾಗೂ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆಯ ಸಂದೇಶದಿಂದ ಪ್ರಭಾವಿತಗೊಂಡ ಪ್ರಭುಪಾದ ಶಿಷ್ಯರ ತಂಡ ನಾಮನಿಷ್ಠದಾಸರ ನೇತೃತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಂಗಳೂರಿಗೆ ಆಗಮಿಸಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞೆಯನ್ನು ಕರಾವಳಿಯೆಲ್ಲೆಡೆ ಪಸರಿಸುವ ಪಣ ತೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಧಾರ್ಮಿಕ ಶ್ರದ್ಧೆಯುಳ್ಳ ಮಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಜನತೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞೆಯನ್ನು ತುಂಬು ಹೃದಯದಿಂದ ಸ್ವಾಗತಿಸಿದೆ. ಇಸ್ಕಾನ್ ಮಂಗಳೂರು ಶ್ರೀ ಶ್ರೀ ರಾಧಾ ಗೋವಿಂದರ ಆರಾಧನೆಯನ್ನು ಮಂಗಳೂರಿನ ನಂತೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಿಸಿತು. ಅಂದಿನಿಂದ ಈ ದೇವಾಲಯವು ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞೆಯ ದಿವ್ಯ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರ ಹಾಗೂ ಮಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಕೇಂದ್ರವಾಗಿದೆ. ನಗರದಾದ್ಯಂತ ಹಲವಾರು ಭಕ್ತರನ್ನು ತನ್ನೆಡೆಗೆ ಸೆಳೆಯುವ ಈ ದೇವಾಲಯದಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಧಾ ಗೋವಿಂದರಿಗೆ ದಿನಕ್ಕೈದು ಬಾರಿ ವಿಧಿವತ್ತಾಗಿ ಪೂಜಾರಾಧನೆಗಳು, ನೈವೇದ್ಯ, ಕೀರ್ತನೆ, ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತಾ ಹಾಗೂ ಶ್ರೀಮದ್ ಭಾಗವತದ ಪ್ರವಚನಗಳು ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತಾ ಬಂದಿವೆ. ವಿದ್ಯಾನಗರಿ ಎಂದೇ ಪ್ರಸಿದ್ಧವಾದ ಮಂಗಳೂರು ದೇಶದೆಲ್ಲೆಡೆಯಿಂದ ಹಲವಾರು ಯುವ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳನ್ನು ತನ್ನೆಡೆಗೆ ಸೆಳೆಯುತ್ತಿದೆ. ಇವರಲ್ಲಿ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಮತ್ತು ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞೆಯನ್ನು ತುಂಬುವಲ್ಲಿ ಇಸ್ಕಾನ್ ಮಂಗಳೂರು ಸತತವಾಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಿಸುತ್ತಿದೆ. ವಿದ್ಯಾಪಾರಂಗತರಾದ ಇಸ್ಕಾನ್ ಮಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಭಕ್ತಾದಿ ತಂಡ ಮಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾಲೇಜುಗಳಿಗೆ ಭೇಟಿ ನೀಡಿ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆ ಬೋಧನೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞೆಯನ್ನು ಪ್ರಚಾರ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಿದೆ. ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞೆ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ ನಿಜಕ್ಕೂ ವರದಾನವಾಗಿದೆ. ಇಸ್ಕಾನ್ ಮಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಶಾಲಾ ಕಾಲೇಜುಗಳಿಂದ ಅಪಾರ ಪ್ರಶಂಸೆ ದೊರೆತಿದೆ. ಕಾಲೇಜುಗಳ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥಾಪಕ ಸಮಿತಿಯಿಂದ ತುಂಬ ಸಹಕಾರವೂ ದೊರೆಯುತ್ತಿದೆ. ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞೆ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳನ್ನು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಪ್ರಜೆಗಳನ್ನಾಗಿ ಪರಿವರ್ತಿಸುತ್ತಿದೆ. ಇದಲ್ಲದೆ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಪವಿತ್ರ ಧಾಮಗಳಿಗೆ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಯಾತ್ರೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಇವರು ಆಯೋಜಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪವಿತ್ರ ಗ್ರಂಥವಾದ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳನ್ನು ಸಾವಿರಾರು ಸಂಖ್ಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಂಚಲಾಗುತ್ತಿದೆ. ಧಾರ್ಮಿಕ ಹಬ್ಬಗಳಾದ ಶ್ರೀಕೃಷ್ಣ ಜನ್ಮಾಷ್ಟಮಿ, ಗೌರ ಪೂರ್ಣಿಮಾ, ರಾಮನವಮಿ, ನರಸಿಂಹ ಜಯಂತಿ ಮುಂತಾದವುಗಳನ್ನು ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕ ವಲಯದಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಅದ್ಧೂರಿಯಾಗಿ ಆಚರಿಸುವುದರಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಧಾ ಗೋವಿಂದ್ ಭಕ್ತ ತಂಡದ್ದು ಎತ್ತಿದ ಕೈ. ಸಾವಿರಾರು ಜನರು ಈ ಹಬ್ಬಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿ ಭಗವಂತನ ಕೃಪೆಗೆ ಪಾತ್ರರಾಗುವಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಯೋಜನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಲಾಗುತ್ತಿದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಆತ್ಮೀಯ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಗುರು ಶ್ರೀಲ ಪ್ರಭುಪಾದರು ತಮ್ಮ ಅತ್ಯಮೂಲ್ಯ ಸಂಪತ್ತಾದ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮ ಸಮಾಜಕ್ಕೆ ಕೊಡುಗೆಯಾಗಿ ನೀಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳು ಮಾನವ ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ರಾಂತಿಯನ್ನುಂಟು ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಎಂದರೆ ಸುಳ್ಳಾಗಲಾರದು. ಈ ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳು ಲಕ್ಷಾಂತರ ಜನರ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆಯನ್ನುಂಟು ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಪ್ರಪಂಚದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಭಾಷೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಲಭ್ಯವಿರುವ ಈ ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳು ಕೈಗೆಟುಕುವ ದರದಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಶ್ವದೆಲ್ಲೆಡೆ ದೊರಕುತ್ತಿವೆ. ಇಸ್ಕಾನ್ ಇದೀಗ ಪ್ರಪಂಚದ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಪುಸ್ತಕದ ಪ್ರಕಾಶಕರು ಎಂಬ ಹೆಗ್ಗಳಿಕೆಗೂ ಪಾತ್ರವಾಗಿದೆ. ಇಸ್ಕಾನ್ ಮಂಗಳೂರು ಈ ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳನ್ನು ಮನೆ ಮನೆಗೆ ತೆರಳಿ ಜನರಿಗೆ ತಲುಪಿಸಲು ಹಲವು ವಿಧದ ಯೋಜನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕೈಗೊಂಡಿದೆ. ಕ್ಯಾಂಪೇನ್ಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ, ಹಬ್ಬ ಹರಿದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬುಕ್ ಸ್ಟಾಲ್ಸ್ ಇಡುವುದರ ಮೂಲಕ ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳ ಹಂಚುವಿಕೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಮಾರಾಟ ಸತತವಾಗಿ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತಿದೆ. ಇಸ್ಕಾನ್ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ದಿನನಿತ್ಯವೂ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತಾ ಹಾಗೂ ಶ್ರೀಮದ್ ಭಾಗವತಂ ಪ್ರವಚನಗಳು ಮಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಟಿವಿ ಚಾನೆಲ್ V4 ನ್ಯೂಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಸಾರವಾಗುತ್ತಿದೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಈ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗಳು ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ನಲ್ಲೂ ಲಭ್ಯವಿದೆ. ಒಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಸ್ಕಾನಿನ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಿಸ್ವಾರ್ಥ ಸೇವೆಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲೆಡೆ ಪ್ರಶಂಸೆ ವ್ಯಕ್ತವಾಗಿದೆ. ಬನ್ನಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆಯುವ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕ ಹಾಗೂ ಧಾರ್ಮಿಕ ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಪಾಲ್ಗೊಂಡು ಭಗವಂತನ ಕೃಪೆಗೆ ಪಾತ್ರರಾಗಿ ಭಕ್ತಾದಿಗಳ ಸಂಘದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಿಕವಾದ ದಿವ್ಯ ವಾತಾವರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವು ದಿನ ತಂಗಲು ಎಲ್ಲ ಅನುಕೂಲಗಳನ್ನು ಇಸ್ಕಾನ್ ರಾಧಾ ಗೋವಿಂದ್ ದೇವಾಲಯ ನಿರ್ಮಿಸಿದೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಭಕ್ತಾದಿಗಳಿಗೆ ತುಂಬು ಹೃದಯದಿಂದ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಕೋರುವ ಇಸ್ಕಾನ್ ರಾಧಾ ಗೋವಿಂದ್ ಭಕ್ತವೃಂದ. ದಿನಂಪ್ರತಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗವತ ಹಾಗೂ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆ ಪ್ರಚಾರ ಪಡೆಯಲು ಈ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆಗೆ ವಾಟ್ಸಪ್ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಕಳುಹಿಸಿ. ವಾರಾಂತ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆಯುವ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಕಾನ್ಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಈ ನಂಬರ್ ಮೂಲಕ ನೀವು ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಬಹುದು. ನಮ್ಮ ವೆಬ್ಸೈಟ್ www.iskonmangaluru.com. ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ.
The pastime of Kaliya. If Uddhava can discuss this pastime, why we should also discuss. Trying to understand the Lord pastimes are transcendental. By meditating on the pastimes, we become purified. It's for our purification, this pastime. Correct? These are all transcendental pastime. Janma karma chame devya. The Mayavadis, they don't study Lord's pastime. For them, it's all by Maya. But we're not Maya. This is all embellished by Yoga Maya. So this is a beautiful pastimes. So what happens? You know Kaliya pastime? One big snake comes to Vrindavan, and he's sitting in Yamuna in a lake, and so much poison is coming out of the mouth that the water has become so poisonous. Not only water became so poisonous, the vapor also was poisonous. Any bird is going flying above, it used to fall on it. It became pot of poison. And we don't see such snakes today, but there was a snake like that. We can at least imagine huge snake with so much poison. And then there's some cows, and a cow were drinking the water. They all fainted. So Krishna saw the situation, and he decided to correct the situation. I think some cowherd boys also fainted by drinking water. Yeah. And Krishna just glanced his eyes, they became okay. They became up. Correct? Magical glance. Somebody had taken poison and is on the ground. We can't glance and make him get up. Krishna can do. Just by his will, everything, all mental energy changes its work. And then Krishna decided to punish the Kaliya. So Krishna went to the top of the tree. There are a lot of analysis on Krishna book how this tree was standing when everything else is down. Is that the Garuda had put little nectar, knowing this pastime will happen, on the tree. So that tree was able to withstand the poison. So Krishna went to the top of the tree and he jumped. When he jumped to the water shook, because Krishna is definitely very heavy. Just like Varahavatara, he broke the Garbhodaka ocean. Like Krishna shook the whole Yamuna. Small boy, but God is all powerful. So the Kaliya became awake, and somebody has come to attack him, and he saw Krishna. First thing he noticed is so beautiful. This boy is so beautiful. First thing he noticed when he looked at Krishna is so beautiful. But still, because in a snake mood, he attacked. And then what happened? And Krishna dodged his attacks. And finally Krishna started dancing on his hoots. And Krishna is the original artist. So Krishna gave a beautiful dance on the hoots of Kaliya. Okay? And then, Nartya started. Tan, tan, tan. And then Kaliya became exhausted because by this boom, boom, by the beating of Krishna's legs, he started becoming exhausted. He knew that he will die now because he is getting crushed. And all the poison is coming out of the mouth and all, but he can't touch the Lord. And then what happened? The wives of Kaliya came to request Krishna to spare the life of Kaliya. Okay. And they offered beautiful prayers to Krishna. And Krishna spared. He said, okay, fine. They said Kaliya is so fortunate. Krishna is touching his lotus feet on their head. He is so fortunate. Correct? Kaliya. So in that way, the whole pastime closes. And the Kaliya says that I actually came here to hide. I was hiding here because your own carrier Garuda will kill me otherwise. So here in this place there is a curse of Saubhari Muni to Garuda. He cannot come here. But therefore I was hiding here. He said, no, get out of this place. So Garuda will not disturb you. Why Garuda will not disturb? Because he is seeing my stamp of my leg on your head, with the marks, with all the signs of Vishnu, Krishna. Garuda will not touch you. So go. So Krishna's will, he left the place, and the water became purified because Kaliya went away, and Krishna proved it, told the cows to drink the water. It was fresh water now. That is the pastime of Kaliya. So anyway, so Prabhupada says something very wonderful in the purport here, in the next one, 32nd. That the Supreme Lord designed utilize the opulent financial sense of Maya. This is about Govardhan Puja, for the worship of the cows, and also he wanted to give a lesson to Indra, the king of heaven. Thus he advised his father to perform worship of Go, or the pasturing land, and the cows with the help of learned Brahmanas. This is Govardhan Puja. So there are many purposes which Krishna fulfills in this. The most important is that what is the supreme welfare? Prabhupada meditates on that even towards the end. Perfection of one's occupation duty, whether in the sphere of duty itself, one community, is judged by degree to which the Lord is satisfied. Whatever you want to do, see, basically, apart from your basic duties of earning livelihood, people like to do some homa, yagna, whatever, to please some power which has helped us. But actually, it's not power, it is powerful. And many people feel these powerful are the Devatas. No. Devatas may be Ishvara, but Krishna is Parameshvara. He is the supreme controller. So, the Nanda Maharaj and all were thinking to appease Indra and thank him for sending rain, so that their land, agriculture and cow protection both depend on water. Water was available. How can cows graze when there is no water? How there will be any vegetation, basically. So, they wanted to thank, but Krishna objected. He said, no, Krishna wanted to set a lesson. It's such an important lesson. What? There is no need to worship Devi Devatas. We should worship Krishna. This is a revolution, most of the people. It's not that it's banned, but if you are intelligent, directly worship the Lord. That is the Govardhan Leela. Indra was, Govardhan, Nanda Maharaj with along his friends was planning to worship Indra. What does Krishna teach? There is no need to worship the Devatas. We should directly worship Supreme Lord. Why? Suppose you want to eat food, eat through the mouth, not through the ears. So there is no need to indirectly try to satisfy the Lord. Directly the door is open. You go and worship the Supreme Lord, where there is a need for Devi Devata worship. And whatever Devatas give, they have to give only after permission from Krishna. They cannot directly give. They have to ask Krishna, can I give? Okay, give. And then whatever the Devatas give is material and temporary. And also it doesn't lead to purification of the heart. We remain where we are. Kama sata hitagyana yajanti anna devata. Like Ravana, so many people, Hiranyakashipu, they worship Devatas. They remain demons. You will not change. Therefore, it is advised to worship Vishnu, because by worship of Vishnu, you will be totally purified. So, any activity we do, the success of the activity is measured by whether the activity pleases the Lord. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, I am not happy with your indirect worship. Come to me, avidhi purvakam. Come to me directly. Why you have to go here and there? You are my child. Why you have to go here and there and give bribe? Krishna consider Devata worship as good as giving bribe. You go to government office, please get my work done. Because he is not the authority. He has to go to somebody, correct? What do? You want to get your driving license done? Directly, nobody goes, because even main man is corrupt. What do? We go to some agent, give him some money, and he gets your work done. True or not? But he is not the sanctioning authority. Sanctioning authority is somebody else. So Krishna doesn't need all this bribing. He says, come to me directly. Don't have to go to my assistants and servants, the Devi Devatas, and give bribe to them. So worship of Devi Devata is actually giving bribe. It's not very pleasing to the Lord. The best way Krishna wants, come directly. That is Govardhan Leela. Govardhan Leela is direct worship of Krishna. That is Govardhan Leela. There is no need to go indirectly. Just like in the Bhagavad Gita. So any activity means whether Krishna is satisfied. And Krishna is satisfied when our activity becomes pleasing to Krishna. Just like in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, recently I'm meditating, there is so much Arjuna speaks welfare activity, but that welfare activity doesn't end up in pleasure of Krishna. Krishna rejects it. You know? Arjuna speaks welfare activity. He speaks about so-called non-violence. He speaks about so many things in the first chapter. What will happen to the woman? He's thinking about the welfare only. What is the whole chapter? Some kahani. What is the theme? Welfare of public. This war is against the welfare of public. Correct? Arjuna not so much speaks about him. He more speaks about the public. It's against the welfare of public. Because the king, he's supposed to look out the welfare of public. He says, this war is against the welfare of public. And not only that, he's giving sarcastic comment to Krishna, that Krishna, you are also Janardana. So why you are sanctioning this war? Correct? It is against the welfare. You can understand this point? It doesn't fit. But then Krishna says, no. He rejects it. He says, no. Whatever you do, finally should be aligned to my pleasure. And I want this war. So that is supreme welfare. Nata tasmad manusheshu kashit me priyakatama. If you are not bringing somebody to Krishna consciousness, then that is not actually welfare. That's not welfare. That's very, very temporary what you are trying to give him. So here in this meditation of Uddhava, we had the Kalya Leela, then we had the Govardhan Leela, that is Indra was being worshipped and Krishna said no need to worship him, and better worship the cows and the land Govardhan. So when this worship was diverted, Indra became very upset and angry, and he started throwing rain out of season, heavy rain, so much heavy that whole situation became very dangerous, and they all ran to Krishna for protection. Devotees, pahi mam, protect me, pahi, please protect, my Lord, protect. Uttara also ran to Krishna, pahi, please protect me. So they are asking Krishna for protection, and Krishna protects by lifting a mountain. That's unimaginable. Can somebody lift a mountain? Krishna just effortlessly lifts a mountain, and they are protected till Indra's anger is vaporized, and he's seeing all his energy and power is proper jokes. All the power of Krishna was equal to one small finger of Krishna, left hand finger. That's all. He could counter Indra by just one finger, little effort of one finger. That also no pain, just aram se. And Indra was exhausted, throwing all his, whatever he had, all the thunderbolt, this weapon, that weapon. But Krishna was not more peaceful. He handled the power of Indra. Then Indra went into big trouble. Okay, so this is all the next pastime of Govardhan Leela. So lesson from that, the first pastime was Kaliya. The pastime was that Krishna knows everything. He knows how to solve any problem. Adbhuta. So many times we see that Devatas, when they messed up with Durvasa Muni gave to Indra one garland. And Indra he put the garland on. Indra gets proud, that's the problem. We are always proud, don't compare yourself with Indra. We are gone case. But Indra also sometimes makes a mistake. So Durvasa Muni, the great sage, he gives garland to Indra. Indra was sitting on his Airavat. Indra, he put the garland on the elephant head. Elephant got irritated, took the garland, put it on the ground and smashed it by his legs. And Durvasa Muni is known to get angry easily. He got so angry, useless fellow, you become beggar. He cursed him. You become bankrupt. And now, by the curse of Durvasa, anyway war was always going on. Star Wars is always going on between Devatas and Danavas. The Devatas could not fight only because curse of Durvasa, they lost all their strength. They were smashed. So we had come to this pastime to meditate on how so the actives, Krishna knows everything how to do. So all the Devatas then go to Brahma and say, it's all, we did a mess, and this Indra did this, and now we are in trouble. And Danavas are so powerful, they are ruling the world and they are not good people. And Brahma says yes. And Devatas, whatever it is, you may not be perfect, but you only will benefit the people. You'll not harm people. They are demonic people. They'll harm people. You should rule. I understand. Let us go to Vishnu because this problem is complicated. Let him solve. And he goes to the Shira ocean. He can't see Vishnu. He just speaks a prayer. He has faith. Krishna is hearing. Prabhupada says we are always feeling Krishna is ignoring us, neglecting us. Krishna is very alert for each one of us. He's in everybody's heart, constantly thinking about each one of you, and is very, very alert to every psychic movement, every step you do, every thought you have. Krishna is very, without, the example is given just like a rose, without smelling, without touching, by smelling you can know. Correct? You can smell the rose. So Krishna can smell your heart. What all desires you have, what all you're planning, everything. Acha, understood. And is very alert to your decisions that you make every moment. Krishna is not neglected. So similarly, when you offer prayers to the Lord, either to the Lord in your heart as Paramatma, or in front of the deities you offer prayer, Krishna is hearing and is very alert. So Brahma is more mature. He knows Krishna is always alert. Okay? So they go to the shore of Shira ocean. That's a regular protocol. Just like all people go to police station, they go to parliament, you go to hospital when they are in problem. Devata when in problem, they go to Shira ocean. On the bank they sit down. And Brahma is the one purest among all. He meditates on the Lord and offer prayers. Even though he generally never sees the Lord, he understands Lord has heard the prayer. And immediately became bright-faced. Bhagavatam reading yesterday. Because he got message. Krishna told, do Samudra Manthan. And through whole thing, he used the Danavas, and finally to Mohini Rupa gave all nectar to the Devata. Devata became strong, back in strength. So Krishna knows. Amazingly, he knows in every situation how to solve your problem. He knows. Either lifting a mountain, he knows how to solve. Correct? He knows. It's not that, not that he has to think a lot. In the moment he makes a solution. Like in the case of Vaman Avatara also, very complicated position was there. Shukracharya, blessing is there, is a Brahmana, can't take away because blessing of Brahmana. Krishna took a child and chuck. Not that after thinking, Krishna is thinking of 1 million years. He is so smart, in a moment he creates a solution. So always, sometimes situation will be very difficult. You do not know what to do. You pray to Krishna. He will give a solution. Krishna, okay, can you do like this? It works out. Correct? Krishna always knows how to solve any problem. That is the intelligence of Krishna. He always knows. He knows how to solve the situation, and he puts his intelligence to work out a solution. So things can be settled. So here also you see that Krishna had a parallelly to problem. One thing Krishna wanted to teach a lesson to public, that you should worship Supreme Lord. There is no need to worship the Devatas. Secondly, Krishna wanted to teach that Indra, we should not become proud. So when you are doing service to the Lord, definitely we get position, power, resources, facilities. Correct? Krishna gives. Anybody does any service, these facilities will come to you. Correct? But we should never become proud. Whatever we have is a gift from Krishna. We should never become proud of that. Correct? Whatever you have, it does not belong to me. Whatever you have is a gift from Krishna, including this body. You should never become proud.